It's been a very difficult year up here, hasn't it? And I think one thing that the media and the outside world really hasn't focused on is the severe injury toll. It's a bit ridiculous, the fact that 4 to 6 of your best midfielders have missed the whole year, really.
Yeah, Josh, it's been interesting to me. I've been around for so long now, and when you're making commentary on other teams, there are just some things you could see why teams were struggling, and and the poor coach gets under pressure, and the players get under pressure, and I'm really of the opinion now, if people are commentating and have commentary on the Gold Coast SUNS and their form this year, and they're being derogatory for other reasons other than 9 at some stage of your 12 best players are out of the team, or 6 of your midfield, your A-grade midfielders are gone, then they know nothing about football. I mean, seriously. In fact, I couldn't care who it was. It is absolute tripe not to say that injuries don't affect you. Mate, this has been the worst year. I've been around for 40-something years, 40 plenty, and this is the worst year I've known any football club to have, with the quality of players out. And, mate, it is so tough. But one of the things I admire about the Gold Coast SUNS, everything that's been thrown at them, the positiveness around the place. I mean, you work there too. You can see it. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
We all have a belief that, okay, we're being tested here, tested on all fronts. Individuals, that have been what I call a bit naughty, and not living the right way. How all that sort of stuff, and the injuries. I'm telling you now that this might just galvanise this club to become a great club much quicker than what I thought it would be, because of this huge setback, which 8 or 9 of those injuries are collision injuries. I mean, we can't avoid. It's just been a freakish performance from. But we're toughing it out, and we found some good kids, which is a pleasing thing.
Another thing that's been sort of criticised throughout the year is leadership, which appears to be it's a difficult thing to really comment on when you're outside of the club. You don't have the access to the players to see what's going on, but it appears to have taken some really big steps forward, and Rodney Eade said that quite a few times this year. What have you noticed in terms of leadership compared to previous seasons?
Yeah, look, the rules of the club were set up by the AFL, and people, with good intentions to put this club there. And what actually happened was, there just wasn't enough senior players. The first team we put out against Carlton in that first round, I think there were 15 under 19 players in it. I mean, where do you get? I mean, that's so hard to get leadership out of that. So it was always going to take time. I mean, it was just going to be a time issue. And now we've got some of those 22-year-olds, just starting to find their feet and their place in the club and becoming leaders. So you're quite right with that. I think that, out of anything, is probably going to catapult us a bit quicker too.
Have you seen guys like Tom Lynch? I mean, David Swallow and Dion Preston have missed large chunks of footy this year, but Tom Lynch seems to be someone that's really taken massive steps forward in terms of leadership. Yeah,
absolutely. And even the other boys in the background with their injuries have still been pretty good, But Tommy's he's an outstanding young fella, and I mean, he's and there's others adding to that now. There's an emerging leaders group which is starting to take some note. So it is important. I mean, the senior players dictate what happens in a football club, and we just need more of them.
Yeah. It appears that we've kept the list together quite well for so many top end draft picks. We haven't really lost many compared to, say, the Giants. Is that going to be really something that's going to come into fruition and be real beneficial in the next couple of years? Do you think?
I hope so. Hopefully, all our guys get back from their injuries and get over them. A couple of months. They're going to take some work to get over them. But if that happens, if the group stays together, I think we're all pretty certain there's enough talent there to. And I think top 4 is what you aim for now. You just need to seem to be in that top 4 position. So I would like to think if we could get just an ounce of luck, just a fraction of luck next year, that you might start playing in September and even top 4.
You mentioned the luck. It's been a massive thing this year because of the kind of injuries we've had. We haven't had a whole range of soft tissue injuries that you can point the finger at a fitness program. Jago O'Meara is one of those players. It's a bit of a devastating situation, really. I don't think enough people understand the significance of his injury. It's not an ACL, it's a really rare patella tendon.
Yeah, it is.
How do you think the club feels about? Are they confident they can return to play?
The last report that I've heard was that that the prognosis is pretty good. And the other thing I think in the club's favour is that Jager is so diligent You know, he's just a wonderful young fellow that he'll do everything in his power to make it happen. So, you know, we've all got our fingers crossed, but I'm pretty confident that if anyone can, Jager will.
You played during a time where sort of spectators would jump the fence during the breaks and come out to you as the huddles broke away. It's a very, very different time now with the media scrutiny and social media and all those sort of issues. How do you think you would have coped with modern football from that perspective?
Look, I don't know. I was always pretty good in the hands, but that was actually grabbing a footy. I don't know about this texting and 4,000 miles an hour. I think I would have got RSI. I don't know how you young blokes do it all the time. In fact, you see in a cafe now, there'll be people eating, you know, in a coffee shop. No one's talking to anyone anymore. Everyone's got that down on their phones and doing stuff. So, anyhow, that's what it is. No, I think you adapt. I think every great player or every really good player would have adapted their time. They had their time. You know, I've had mine, and now the kids at the Suns and everybody else are having theirs.
You're not at all envious of the different times?
No, mate. You can't change that.
Yep.
It's futile worrying about things you can't change.
All right, Blighty, last one for you. Who do you, from the Suns, who do you enjoy watching most? Who excites you, brings you to the footy?
Gaz.
Yeah.
No, Gaz, and you know, the obvious stars. But the thing I've enjoyed this year is that, you know, out of the disaster, which it really is probably, Adam Sard. I just think he's just wonderful. What a wonderful pickup he was, and you know how exciting he is to watch and takes the game on. And the young fella got hurt early, Jared Garlett.
Yep.
I think he's, you know, just the way he moves, and I know he played a handful of games early before he did his ankle, but I think he looks electrifying. You know, he's got some real tricks. And the other youngster, Took Miller, has not missed a beat.
No.
For a first-year player, I mean...
He must be in rising star.
Oh, well,
chances.
You'd hope so, but he's been enormous. So I've really, you know, and there are others, but those three probably jump out as kids that have really come on this year, and only because they had opportunity, and you know, we've had a lot of bad luck.
How much of a phenomenal story is Adam Sard? He's come from such a long way back, and quite an, you know, the VFL's not as professional as AFL. And we're seeing that with his groin issues.
Yeah. No, he's. I can only hope that, you know, if he gets another really good pre-season in, I think he can improve another 10 or 15%, which would be exciting again.
It would be phenomenal. All right, Blighty, thanks very much for joining us. It's been a great time. Great to learn a bit more about the game and your insights. It's always exciting.
Good on you, mate. Nice to catch up with you. Now, you're going to keep doing the good work for FIAT?
Absolutely.
And Suns in Cars.
Oh, we love the FIATs, don't we?
We do indeed.
Beautiful vehicle.
Terrific.
Thanks for that.
Good on you, mate.